Hello Apple Jammers, no time for the usual shtick today. We're going to jump straight into it because we're reacting to some breaking news. It would appear as though if you go to thebeatles.com, there has been a release of the first set photos from the Sam Mendes? I don't know. For film spectacular, as they're referring to it, of the biopics of the Beatles. So, head over to thebeatles.com, you'll find the article there. What do the cast look like when they're in costume, when they're made up to look like John, Paul, George and Ringo? These iconic, faces that are seared into our brains. Do they do a good job of looking like them? Well, let's find out. So, I'm looking at this now, and let's do Paul Mescal first. So I know Paul Mescal from Normal People. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. I've not seen an awful lot of Italian films over the last couple of years, to be quite honest. Perils of being a dad. But from this, looks pretty good to me. Like, the eyes look spot on. There's the kind of like mouth shape of Paul there. I think that looks great. Whether it's just from this one shot where, they've managed to make him do a particularly Paul McCartney-like expression, well, that remains to be seen, but so far so good, I say. Then we go over to Barry Keoghan. So I've seen him in Saltburn, which was a pretty good film. Quite enjoyed that, and he was very, very good in it. I think this is great, to be honest. I think that's a great likeness for Ringo. Don't know if they've done something to his nose to make it a little bit more Ringo-y. But yeah, again, the mouth shape is there. So yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. Let's move down to John and George. So Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. I don't know who that is. I've not seen him in anything. So not gonna lie, I don't think that looks an awful lot like George Harrison, to be quite honest. Looks more like somebody from Foo Fighters or something like that. No, that's gonna have to do a lot of work for me. And finally on to Harris Dickinson as John Lennon. Again, not sure who that guy is, but I mean, what do we think of this? It's a difficult one to judge because clearly in mid-vocal there, I don't know, I can see it. It's not quite there for me. There's a little bit of uncanny valley about that one. But yeah, not entirely sure. Should we rate them out of 10? That might be quite fun. So let's go back up to Paul. I think that is an 8 out of 10 likeness for Paul McCartney. Barry Keoghan as Ringo, I'm going to say that's a 9 out of 10. I think that's pretty good, to be honest. Joseph Quinn as George Harrison, I don't really see it. That's a 3 out of 10 for me. And Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, right in the middle, 5 out of 10. I think it remains to be seen for that one. But anyway, that's not all, because as part of this article as well, they've detailed a marketing event, which sounds quite exciting. If you live close to any of the areas which are involved in this event, might be worth having a look around, see if you can find any of the goodies that they've laid out. So let me read this article for you and all will become clear. Bear with me because it's clearly been written by a marketer. It's got a lot of fluffy marketing language in it, so I'm just going to read it as it is. Don't shoot the messenger. Before anything else, this moment was made for the fans in the way Beatles stories have always travelled, hand to hand, city to city, shared between friends, kept in drawers and stuck on bedroom walls. So when it came to sharing a first look at the actors stepping into these roles for Sam Mendes, The Beatles, a 4-film cinematic event, in partnership with Sony Pictures and Neil Street Productions, Harris Dickinson as John, Paul Mescal as Paul, Joseph Quinn as George and Barry Keoghan as Ringo, we wanted it to feel like something you could discover. And that's why it began with postcards, something physical, something you can hold on to, a small nod to the early days, when news travelled by paper, signatures were treasured, and the story lived in photographs, notes, and memorabilia passed around between fans and friends. I'm sure a few marketing execs have given themselves a nice big pat on the back for this. So we have been out and about, leaving postcards in 4 places stitched into the story: Liverpool, Hamburg, New York, and Tokyo. From Shibuya record stores to the Reaper Barn and the Cavern's doorstep and the halls of Lipa to the streets around Central Park, the postcards were placed in the kinds of spots fans naturally gravitate to. music shops, landmark corners, and the places that shape the story near and far. Now here's the juicy bit, here's the interesting bit. There are 4,000 postcards in total, each individually numbered on the back, and over 200 signed by our new Fab Four. Some have already been discovered, and it's been brilliant watching fans share their finds as the trail moves from city to city. Maybe there are still some out there. Whether you found one in the wild or followed from afar, thank you for being part of it. There's more to come. That's quite exciting, that last bit at the end there. There's more to come. I mean, like, this is already out there. I'm sure that, you know, they've already said that some have already been found. They're clearly going for a kind of like viral marketing kind of event here, but it's quite nice, you know, like if you happen to come across one of those photos, and with them being so limited as well and some of them being signed, it was quite a nice little collector's item there. So yeah, fair play to them. I live relatively close to Liverpool, can't say I'll be going to make the journey to go and find one, apart from the fact that I'm far too busy at the best of times. But yeah, it's not worth the journey for me. But if you've got the time and you live around Liverpool or New York, or where were the other places, Hamburg and Tokyo, you know, maybe pop down to the odd statue, maybe head over to the Imagine garden in Central Park. You know, if you're going past Matthew Street, maybe have a look around in Liverpool. It's worth a little look, isn't it? And I'm sure those will be snapped up relatively quickly. But yeah, interesting to hear that there's more to come. So what will that entail? Only time will tell. But if I get there quickly enough, you'll be sure to find out on Apple Jams. So please do subscribe, give this video a like. If you found it useful and informative, leave us a comment. What do you think about the likenesses of John, Paul, George and Ringo from these four lads that are playing them in these films? Are you excited about the films? Are you looking forward to them? I, for one, am really excited. I love a good biopic, and the biopics that we've had of the Beatles so far, we've had Backbeat, which I thought was quite good, Nowhere Boy, which I thought was really good. I've seen that a few times. And of course we've got a BBC drama on the way, which I've done a video on. I'll put a link to that up here if you've not heard of that, so go and check that out. But yeah, let us know what you think. Just leave a comment down below, give us a like, and otherwise I'll say ta-ra for now, and thanks for watching.